Cassandra winced as the dark-skinned woman finished treating her wound while the pitch-black van bobbed and weaved down the narrow streets. The woman said her name was Tamara, a curvy, top-heavy woman with neck-length black hair and dark brown skin. She had on a lime-green t-shirt that did nothing to conceal her large bust underneath. The others had introduced themselves frustratingly fast. Cassandra was not unaccustomed to having strangers bombard her with names and stories, but that was a lifetime ago. "Looks like that was an old wound, Cassie," Tamara said with a gentle smile. "Mind if I call you Cassie? You can call me Tammy if you want." "Call me whatever you want," Cassandra replied, wincing again as she pulled down her shirt. The wound was fresh, a stab from her own switchblade that a bastard had taken from her. However, Cassandra knew she couldn't tell these strangers the truth. They wouldn't believe her, and even if they were crazy enough to trust her story, they would never understand. Cassandra looked past Tamara, who sat adjacent to her in the long but cramped van. The van had a transverse bench seat running sideways, facing the door rather than traditional forward-facing seats. The opposite side had half a bench on one edge and a large crate on the other. As Cassandra studied the vehicle, the others studied her. Walter drove the van while Faye rode shotgun. Job sat nearby with a large Belgian Malinois shepherd resting its head on his lap, its eyes fixed on her. Everyone was unnervingly quiet. Finally, the silence was broken. "Are you really a witch?" Faye asked quizzically as he turned around in his chair. He was met with only silence. "Sometimes a shirt is just a shirt, Faye Lamb," Tamara scolded in a maternal tone. "Maybe if you got your ass to church sometimes you would stop being so obsessed with this nonsense." "It's not nonsense," he snapped back. "I know it's real. Just another puzzle." "So you a witch?" "Where was Michael?" Walter questioned without turning his attention from the road. Job shook his head. "He showed up with Trish again. They probably left together. I'm sure they will meet us back at Faye's house." "Rent-skipping leeches," Faye muttered to himself. Silence returned. Silence and the sound of the road. Tamara looked between each member of the group, as if waiting for someone to speak. "How about you all tell her about yourselves? Walter, tell her why you do this." "Rather not," he quickly answered. "Come on, Wally," she pleaded. Walter took a deep breath, carefully choosing his words before looking back in resignation. "We live in a horrible world, and I just want to make it suck a little less." "That's my baby brother," Tamara whispered to Cassandra, as Faye stared back enthusiastically, waiting his turn. "Don't make me regret asking you." "Money. No, I have money. Power. This is harder than I thought," he moaned before turning back to the window in frustrated contemplation. Cassandra quickly began to second-guess her decision to seek out this group. Someone she trusted, no, the only person she trusted, told her that if she wanted to escape her past, she would need to confront those hunting her. For that, she would need allies. But Cassandra could not see how this group of dysfunctional amateurs could help themselves, let alone anyone else. Job let out a small but audible sigh before he turned to face the rest of the group. Jason and Johnny, 8 years old. Rebecca, 7 years old. Janice, also 7. Marcus goes by Marky and just turned 6, but he jumped a grade. 9-year-old Tommy was held back a year but is trying to catch up. Cassandra clenched her fists as she heard those names. Job leaned forward as he continued. 6 children were taken from a school bus in the same damn city we are driving through this fucking moment. And the only lead we got is Cassandra, and that maybe, just maybe, those maniacs like the one that stabbed her could help us get these kids home. "So, Cassie," he said, turning toward her, "we will use every skill and every resource we have to keep you safe. Just help us get these kids home." Cassandra's fingers trembled. Faces she tried to forget came rushing back, and the bile of guilt rose in her throat. She clenched her jaw, pushing the memories aside. Not now. Not here. The van continued to navigate the city's labyrinthine streets, weaving through heavy traffic and narrow alleyways. The cityscape outside the windows was a blur of grimy brick buildings, flickering neon signs, and bustling crowds. Skyscrapers loomed overhead, casting long shadows that seemed to chase the van as it sped through intersections and sharp turns. The once vibrant murals and graffiti that adorned the walls now looked like fading memories of a better time, swallowed by the grime and decay that had settled over the city like a shroud. Cassandra contemplated his words. He was different than the others, and she knew what it was like to have your childhood stolen. "Fine, let's get them home," she said to the group. At that moment, Cassandra grasped the wound at her side, but it was not the pain that caused her to recoil. Jason, 8 years old, she thought to herself. Rebecca, 7 years old. The pain hurt far less than knowing the truth.